Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you doing? This is the S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Says podcast, episode number 407. You know what I'm going to talk to you guys? People always talk about karma, and I don't really get into that too much. I mean, I don't get into the metaphysical stuff like that, mainly because who cares? But when you think about karma, it's almost as if they say that you do something bad and the universe lays in waits to give you retribution, to get you back. And I don't necessarily believe in that. I just think if you make a bunch of bad, stupid decisions and you do a bunch of bad, stupid things to people, eventually you're going to put yourself in a bad position. If you do nice things, people are going to have a nice feeling about you. If you do bad things, people are going to have a bad feeling about you. If you're a nice guy, right, and something out in the people that know you see the ticket person coming, they're going to go, hey, buddy, you better move your car. The ticket person is coming. And you go, oh, let me get out there. And it happened to me. I was in a donut shop. I was just getting some coffee. There was a homeless guy sitting out. He was sitting by the front door. I looked up to him. He smiled at me. Hey, buddy. Hey, starting conversation. And I knew what he was trying to do. And it's like, what the hell? I mean, what's it going to go? It's going to cost me $2 to give this guy something. So I go into the thing. I buy him a donut and a coffee. I put it in the bag. And then I give it to him. And then I go back in to order my stuff. Not a big deal. Who cares? You know what I mean? I mean, that's all I could do for the dude, right? And people saw that inside the donut shop, and the other customers like, hey man, that was really nice. And the lady gave me some extra something for it. I forgot what it was, but like extra, like a larger coffee than normal. I forgot exactly what it was, but whatever I ordered, she gave me more of it for free. And I thought that was pretty cool. So while I'm paying for it, they see the ticket lady coming down the streets, the meter reader, and she's ticket, and she looks like she's having a good time. She's literally dancing as she gives people tickets. There's 2 cars before mine, and they go, oh, you better get out there for the ticket guy, the ticket lady. So I'm walking outside, and I see the ticket lady walking towards my car. She's not mad, but she's going, you know what? Yeah, I was about to give you a ticket. And then the guy that's sitting on the ground that I got the donut says, don't give him a ticket. He's a nice guy. Look what he got for me. And he's waving the donut and the coffee in his hand. And she goes, you know what? You did that? That's really sweet. You know what? You're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. She says, don't worry about it. You're good. Right? So she skips over my car and goes to the next car. Ticket, does a little dance again. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I go back in and get a couple more things. And then I leave. Now, if I was an a-hole, if I walked in, hey, homeless guy, get a job, yeah. Do you think the people in the donut shop would have gave me extra stuff? No. Do you think the other customers would have been like, hey, person who just abused the homeless person, there's a person giving tickets out there? No, they wouldn't have done that. They would have waited till I got a ticket if I was a bad person like that. And when I went, oh, damn, I got a ticket with some bull stuff, they would have laughed when I pulled away going, here's what you get, you dirty, rotten sassafras and Jehoshaphat. Right? But obviously I gave the guy the stuff, and I wasn't trying to show off for anybody. It was $2.50 or whatever the hell it was. Who cares, right? What difference does it make? But I guess people would go, well, that was good karma because, the lady saw that and the homeless guy said you gave him some stuff and she was going to give you a ticket and she chose not to. That's the good karma. Well, you did do some good things and sometimes they come back to you, right? As it turns out, every time I go to that donut shop, now I'm buying this dude a meal every time. I'm like, good Lord, man. But what difference does it make? It is what it is, right? But sometimes you do bad things and bad things happen to you. And I don't know if it's karma or if like I said, you're just making dumb, stupid, idiotic decisions. I was driving, this is a few years ago, I'm driving a relative that's very, very ill. I didn't necessarily think he was going to die or anything like that, but he was feeling really, really bad. And he was having body aches that were really, really bad. And I'm driving him. I think it was either taking him to the hospital or from the hospital. I can't remember. But whatever it was, I was driving in such a manner as to avoid bumps in the street at all costs, because every time I hit one, he would be, and you don't want to do that to anybody, and so I'm making it a point to drive at a reasonable speed, right at the speed limit. I'm avoiding potholes and everything. And then all of a sudden, the person behind me starts tailgating me. And I'm not talking about someone driving too close where you can see, the front tires of their car. I'm talking about to the point where you can't see the front of their car at all. They're literally inches away from the back of the car. And I'm trying to speed up a little bit. I don't want to do it, but I realize that even though I'm trying to avoid potholes, getting whatever that car's make and model was, enema to the back of my car would be even worse. Not only for my relative, but also for me. So I speed up a little bit, and this idiot speeds up some. And then I speed up some, and then this idiot speeds up some. And I'm going, I can't go any faster than this. I'm not going to do it. This guy, all he has to do is back up a little bit, wait a couple seconds, and then cut into the next lane. But he's deciding to be an ass. Right? So I refuse. I'm like, you know what? I am not going any faster than this because I don't want to hurt my relative's back. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to hurt my relative because of this idiot. I'm just going to be very careful. So what did this piece of crap do? Right? Eventually he realizes he's not going to make me drive any faster because I was already going over the speed limit unless there's police officers listening to this episode, in which case, no, I wasn't. Don't judge me, people. Back to the story. So this schmuck decides to whip into the left lane, right? And instead of just passing me and going about his day, he pulls up beside me and he's berating me. Didn't roll down the window, and I didn't roll down my window, and I wasn't really paying attention to him. I was looking at him through my peripheral vision, and he's it looks like a Tasmanian devil over there. I could tell he was saying F-bombs because he made it a point to over-enunciate the F word to make sure that I understood what he was saying. Now he's making gestures with his finger, the one in the middle of his hand, if you understand what I'm saying. And I'm ignoring this idiot because I'm going, I really don't have time for this. I mean, this guy's irrational, so I'm going to act like I can't see him. And I'm going to keep my eye on him because you don't know who's really in the car next to you. You don't know what they're going to do, so you have to be prepared if you have to make any kind of evasive maneuvers. So I'm kind of looking at him in the peripheral, taking a quick glance every once in a while. As we're driving, he's making it a point to match my speed. Once again, irrational, right? Holding up traffic behind him. I see the potholes that I'm used to seeing on this particular road, which is why I'm in the lane I'm in, because I want to avoid them at all costs. Why? I have a relative who's going, ugh, when I hit a small bump in the street. So I don't want to hit any bumps. Definitely not those. I don't even want to hear the sound he would make if I hit all of those potholes. There were clusters of them. So I started going, you know what? This person's being an ass, but I definitely don't. I'm not enough of an ass that I'm going to be an ass back to the guy. So I start pointing at the potholes, right? They're coming up. He's got plenty of time to avoid them. They're coming up, and he's looking at me. But unfortunately, this dope in his other car sees me pointing emphatically and saying, watch out. I don't know what he thought I was saying vocally, but apparently he thought I was trying to antagonize him. So now he's even more. And he's now taking the middle finger and extending his arm towards me with the middle finger. And I'm pointing and pointing, and he's middle fingering, and I'm pointing and pointing. And he's now he's shaking his fist in the middle finger, then the fist in the middle finger. And I'm trying to help him avoid the potholes, because if you see the potholes, as I found out, as I was tailgated in that lane a few days earlier, if you line your tires up just right, you don't hit the potholes. Right? You don't hit them at all. They're wide enough if you're in a standard car, they're just wide enough, the cluster, where they will miss your tires if your car is lined up properly. His car was not lined up properly. So all of a sudden, I'm looking over at the guy, and I'm still trying to warn the guy, and he still thinks I'm being antagonistic. And all of a sudden, I hear, and I see the guy lose control of his car because the potholes are pretty big, and he has this look on his face. And I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and you know how when someone does something stupid like honk their horn and they don't realize that the reason that you stopped your car is because there's a little old lady crossing the street, or a dog in the street, or a kid in the street, and then when you start taking off, they stay way behind you. I call that guilt distance, because they know they were an ass. They can now see why you made the maneuver you just made, and they realize they were being an ass for honking the horn because they didn't see what you could see. Well, this person was also the same way, because he was so busy being angry at me, he now knows that I was pointing at the potholes. He regains control of his car. He drives quickly. He catches up to me. He literally turned his head to the left so as not to see me. Exactly. He felt guilty because he was being a douche, and he sped off into the sunset. Now, most people go, oh, karma got him. No, he was just being an ass, and it caught up to him. One of the things I love the most is to watch those videos on YouTube when I'm just kind of chilling and they're instant karma videos, instant karma cop videos. And it's literally a bunch of compilations of videos of people being idiots in traffic, cutting people off viciously, or doing something like cutting in front of people and swerving back and forth between two lanes so the person can't catch them, or running red lights, or making a left turn from the right lane or vice versa. All sorts of douche moves that we see every day if you drive, and there's never a police officer around when that happens because it happens so quickly and they'd have to actually be right there to catch the person. But these videos on YouTube are a compilation of times when the police officer is in fact there. Oh yeah. Cathartic. Oh yeah. And people always have exactly the same response. Yeah, F yeah. Yeah, get him, officer. They laugh hysterically. Why? Because you want bad things to happen to bad people. If somebody's doing that, you kind of want them to get a ticket if they viciously cut you off or cut off traffic or weave back and forth between the lanes to stop people from doing what they want to do. We all want bad things to happen to bad people, but sometimes when a person does something bad, it's not bad enough where you want something really bad to happen, right? Like that guy was tailgating me. I didn't want him to get a $300 ticket. I just wanted him to stop driving so close to my car. I did enjoy having him hit those potholes, mainly because it didn't damage his car. It scared him. It made him feel like crap. It made him feel guilty. And he looked away when he drove past me, and that felt really good. Oh, yeah. It was like somebody giving you an extra cupcake when you weren't even expecting to get a cupcake in the first place. Then he gave you some ice cream when you weren't expecting ice cream. Yeah, I said it. But sometimes you want something just a little bad to happen to people. I've talked about that before. I saw a guy at a bar, and there was this lovely lady with her boyfriend, right? They were obviously a couple. They were holding hands, and they seemed like a nice couple of people. Now, if you're the kind of guy who's a pickup artist, that's the last person you go to. You just go and find a bunch of women standing by themselves or in groups. You go over there, you talk to the lady you want to talk to. But this schmuck waited until the guy went to the bathroom, literally slid on over to the lady and started trying to hit on her while he was in the bathroom. Now, what kind of crap is that? You got to be pretty low to see a happy couple and then try to walk over there and try to get up inside the woman that was with that guy. Or if you're a lady, try to get the guy to go up in you. That's disgusting, right? He's trying to take her to, boo city, right? Or if a lady moves in on a guy when the lady leaves, she's trying to take him to boo city, and that's gross. If everything works out the way you wanted to, you're going to get it on with somebody else's significant other. What kind of crap is that? And when you see that, you do want something to happen to that person. You want something bad to happen to that person. Yes, you do. And I saw that happen once, and I'm just sitting there with my boys, and I'm going, what a piece of crap. Because if I come out the bathroom, and I know you saw me with my lady, and I've been in a situation before. Guy walked up to my woman. I go to the bathroom, I come back. He's sitting there, and another thing, big. And I'm looked down at him, and she starts laughing. She's like, what's so funny? She goes, look behind you. And I looked at him, I said, man, if you don't get out my chair right now. I said, you got two choices. You can get out my chair right now, or I can push this chair so far up your ass, you can sit down wherever you need to go. And he's like, man, I said, trust me, dude. I'm in a bad mood, and I would like nothing better than to shove that chair up your ass. He could tell I was not kidding, and and at that, the younger version of me, I would have shoved that chair up his ass. It would have been like that. You ever see that movie Hancock, where Will Smith says to the two inmates, "I'm gonna put his head up your ass," right? It would have been kind of like that, except with a lot messier. Back to the story. So he sees that she's there with him, and he still makes his move. The guy is not back from the bathroom because the bathroom's way away in the restaurant. So he knows he's got at least 5 minutes. And I'm sitting there going, you piece of crap. We're all looking at him like, what a scumbag, right? So the boyfriend starts coming back. He looks over and sees the boyfriend coming back. The boyfriend is talking to somebody and doesn't see him, so he eases away, trying to be slick. The girlfriend's looking at him with utter disgust, and she's been rejecting him politely and then less politely, and then get the hell away from me. I got a boyfriend, get out my face. She was trying to be nice to the piece of crap, and he was being persistent. not violent. I didn't think that he was going to grab her or anything, and we would have got up from the table and we might have smacked him, or we might have either said, "Yo, man, leave the lady alone," or smacked him up. I was younger then. And, so the guy's coming back. This guy spins away to get away from the lady, and the waitress is walking. Oh, so good. The waitress is walking back. You know, when you go to a bar food is always covered in sauces and cheeses and cream cheese and, spaghetti sauce. It's always like, you know what I'm saying? It's always like potato skins and buffalo wings and little quesadillas and sizzle plates and all of that kind of crap. So he moves away really quickly, hits the waitress, she's got a big tray. I think she had a 6 top. And if you worked in a restaurant, that means 6 people at the table. She had a 6 top of all of this kind of stuff, and bow, it lands right on him. I mean, he's covered in sauces and cheese and sauces and crap, right? The boyfriend comes back. The girlfriend tells him what happened. He looks over, he stands up like, I'm gonna whoop this dude's butt. And then he sees the dude who looks like he was in a food fight against an octopus, and he just goes, he just laughs and goes, he waves it off and sits back with his girlfriend. They both laugh, point at him, and he sits down. He's sitting there like, oh God, because now he's got to get in his BMW or whatever the crap car he's driving and clean himself off. And of course, after he comes back out of the bathroom, still looking like a bunch of crap, still covered in cheeses and sauce. There's no way to get this out of your clothes. You're going to mess up your car seat. The manager walks out to him and goes, I saw what you did. Should have left that lady alone. Here's the bill. And he charged him for all of that crap. Charged his punk ass. And the guy's like, I didn't. And the guy goes, oh, you paying for it. You paying for it. You shouldn't have been, And he did pay for it because the dude who came with the damn bill looked like he could have played for the Bills. You understand? I'm that big giant dude. In fact, he looked at me just because I just happened to be where his head was turning, and I almost gave him $20. But a lot of people go, man, I wouldn't want a bad thing to happen to him. I did. I loved every second of it. Right? Now, if a person is just being an idiot at the bar, I've been there with guys just being arrogant or something like that, being a little mean to somebody, not super mean, but just being a bit of a douche or a bit of a dick. You know what I mean? Just an arrogant person. And I saw the guy and, he got some water splashed on him. It was just water. And sometimes when a person's being a dope at a bar, that's all you really want. You don't want his clothes messed up like that other guy's clothes, but you do want him to get some water spilled on him because that'll dry up. In an hour or so, it'll be like nothing happened, but he'll know. He'll feel bad and he'll go, man, that's what I get for being a dick. Sometimes you want bad things that happen to bad people. I was going to say, and sometimes you don't, but no, sometimes you want bad things to happen to bad people. You know what I'm talking about. So, when you see something, I was wondering, when you see something bad happen to a bad person, do you get excited by it? Do you feel guilty for wanting a bad thing to happen to a bad person? Like, if they're super bad, I'm like, the hell with them. If they're a little bit bad, if they're having a bad day, like if your wife is mad at you, she's having a bad day and she takes it out on you, you don't want her to fall down the steps, right? If your husband's being mean to you, you know what I'm saying? You don't want the lawnmower to run over his foot. You just like, well, yeah. But if your wife's being a little mean to you, right? And she sits down, yeah, well, let me tell you something. And she drops her soda on the floor. Let's be honest. You're like, oh, you dropped your soda. Let me get you another one. But don't lie. In the back of your mind, you're going, yeah, that's what you get. Right? If your husband's being a bit of an ass or something like that, right? And his team loses and he's ticked off because the team lost on a 69-yard field goal into the wind and the snow, and he was sitting there celebrating, and daggone well, you're like, oh, honey, I'm sorry your team lost. And you go, I'll be right back. I got to go to the bathroom. You're going to hear the sound of me laughing hysterically and going, ha, 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 that's what you get. But it has nothing to do with you. Tell the truth. So if something bad happens to a bad person, it's not really bad, just a little bad, maybe just a little embarrassing, maybe just a little bad, but not too bad. Don't feel guilty. Just sit back and enjoy it. Ha ha. 'Cause I know I do. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Well, folks, that's the end of the episode. I want to thank you guys for coming back every week. Much love to you. Do me a favor. If you love this show, and you do me a favor and tell friends about the podcast. Rate and review the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. And if you like this podcast, I have another podcast called The S. Anthony Thomas Show. Go and check that out. And if you love that, do the same thing with that podcast. Much love to you all, and I will see you next week. Take care.